Let's talk about the training setup. 3 buttons across the front of your 200i handheld can be used for stimulation, but they can also be used to control functions of the handheld. So if you want to access stuff without using the touch screen, you can set it up where your buttons actually allow you to access maps, compass, mark a waypoint, all sorts of different things. At the top of the screen, this is called a training bar, and it's going to show what the buttons correspond with. So right now I've got map, compass, mark a waypoint, but then I use my side keys to go up, and I've got my dog 1, which I've labeled as black, and it is momentary, continuous, and tone. So here's the collar there. So momentary, continuous, and tone. Okay. Let's take a look at the training setup so you can customize that how you want it. All right, got a couple of things. First, let's talk about stimulation. You have 2 choices in stimulation, linear and traditional. This is an 18 level system. Linear strictly means that you're going to be using the numbers 1 through 18 to control your stimulation. 1's the lowest, 18's the highest. They also have a traditional setup, and this is an old Tritronic setting where you have the traditional setting is low, medium, and high. So we have low, and then here you have low, medium, high. The traditional setting is the same stimulation setup, it's just labeled differently. In the traditional, you're going to have numbers 1 through 6, and then you're going to have a low, a medium, and a high for each one of those numbers. It corresponds exactly with the linear stimulation setup, and I'm not going to recommend this setup for really anybody, strictly because the way the up and down keys work, using it with the low, medium, and high is a little more complex than it needs to be, and so for most folks, I'm just not going to recommend it. Leave the system in linear. Next, you have training defaults. When you add a new collar to it, if you want to change the way your button setups are done, you can set this here, and then every time you add a new collar, that's how the collar is going to become added. Out of the box, it's going to be momentary, continuous, and tone, but you can go in and change that to any setup that you want. You've got tone, you've got vibration, you can also control the lights from the handheld. In this setup screen, if you want a new collar to be set like your other collars, you can make these changes here. Now we have training keys. This is where you edit all of the keys for your collars. Garmin likes to use the word keys for buttons. Sometimes they're going to refer to things as keys. I would typically call them buttons, but in the training keys, that is what they're referring to is these 3 buttons. This is the menu where you go in and you can either add more items or you can change the items that are already in here. Out of the box, this is what it's going to look like. It's going to have map, dog tracker, which is your compass, mark waypoint, and then your second page. So this is a page, this is a page. Your second page is going to be the first dog that's in the system, and it's going to be set up as momentary, continuous, and tone. When, to see your pages, go back up to here, but this is a page, and then you press your up arrow to go to the next page. So right now, my up and down are controlling, changing between the 2. So right now, it's compass, and then it's continuous. We want to add a third page. Pages correspond with the buttons. So it's the left button, the middle button, and the right button. All right, so you select it. Here are the things you get to choose from: training command, application, device actions, and utilities. So training command, first you're going to pick a dog. So we're still using the black dog. From this page, I want to control the light, and I want to adjust the light. So you can make it blink fast. You can make it cut on, cut off. You can even make it prompted, which is kind of cool. So, but this is where you control the light. So we're going to say blink fast, done. So now it's a light. And we're going to make this one, training command, black collar. That's vibrate. And then we're going to have a training command for the black, and we're going to do the light, and it is going to be off. Back on the main menu screen, I'm going through the training bar. And so I have my map, compass, and my mark waypoint. And then I have the new one that we added here, which is the light. So I can turn the light where it's going to blink fast. I can vibe my dog from here, and I can also shut the light off. So now we have 3 pages that are in our training key setup, and you use your up and your down buttons on the side to move through those. I've added this page. Let's remove it. So go back, you select it, you can remove it, remove it, remove it. So yeah, you actually can even set it up if you want to. Instead of removing the entire page, you can only have, one button. So let's just say that I just want my light. Okay. So I'm going to leave the other 2 buttons blank. And so I have stimulation, I have maps and compasses and waypoints, and then I have my light. And that's all it is. It's just the light. And now that I'm selected on the light, I can go through and select what I want on the light. So I can make it blink slow, and then I can shut it off. And when I'm through, I hit my select button. It takes me back to the main menu. Let's add a new dog. You go to your dog list, and the first thing that pops up is add dog. Select that. You have a couple of different ways that you can add a dog. You can either pair it to the collar, so you do that when you have the collar with you. You can input the track or control code, which if you're giving the information to somebody else or you're adding somebody else's dog, they can give you those 2 pieces of information. You can pop them in. That's handy if you're tracking a lost dog and you need to help your buddy find his lost dog, but you don't have it in the handheld. He can give you the code information. And then you can also receive it from a handheld. You can take your Alpha 100 to 200i handheld and just wirelessly send the information to somebody else's handheld. We're going to pair it because we have the collar here. So you take your collar and you hold down your power button and just keep holding on to it, and it's going to start flashing rapidly here. Once it starts flashing rapidly, then you let go of the button and it's going to pop up on the screen. So Garmin will name them. They name them, the first one's dog, and then each one after that is dog 1, dog 2, dog 3, and so on. I've always felt that there's 2 different ways to use an Alpha as far as naming dogs. If you have 2 dogs and you have 2 collars, then you can name this dog Bo and this dog Willie. And you always put the same collar on the same dog, no big deal. I don't do that because I have more dogs than I have collars. So I name all of mine the color of the collar strap. So this is the blue collar. So you, in the keypad here, B-L-U-E, excuse me, E, excuse me, E. I've got really fat fingers. All right, so blue. Now, this is where you keep up with the color of the track of your dog and how he's identified in the handheld. Well, same thing there. I want that to be blue. So now I've got blue and the colors are blue. It's an easy way for me to keep up. So I've got 2 collars in here right now. I've got black collar and the color code is black, and I've got a blue collar and the color code is blue. That's how you add a dog.